Yo, welcome back, everybody. That's D5 questing, you know it. And this...
I don't know who you are. Where's Reed?
Just having fun.
Reed was here just like 2 minutes ago.
Well, this episode of D5 questing, let's see, we are episode 7 now. Seven. This episode brought to you by meetings. None of us is as dumb as all of us.
I heard Wheaties. I don't know why I can't hear.
You had to sit there and decipher that a little bit.
Meetings. Remember from last week, Jacob's over here hearing Aspen wrong.
Yeah, there we go. I'll say it one more time. Meetings. None of us is as dumb as all of us.
Welcome to D5 Question.
I put my ear next to the microphone so I could hear you better.
And for all of you that do have meetings out there, you know, you should all be given a blue ribbon that says, I survived another meeting that could have been an email.
Hear.
We all know.
For those keeping track of score, this is still the first day of recording for us. So we have recorded 6 hours of content, and we're on to a 7th right now. So it is getting late in the evening, and we apologize for potential hiccups.
This is the loopy episode.
I'm juiced up on caffeine.
Go and put another pot of coffee on the coffee maker, and let's do it.
I can see Russia from my house.
Rav, why don't you give us a brief, or John, either or, a brief synopsis of what happened last week.
Oh, man. Okay, if I can remember last week, which happened less than 5 minutes ago, we had a couple of fights. We had the hobgoblins that we decided to take down around the lake, where we had Caladrel. Caladrel. There we go. Caladrel. Hiding up behind the falls, and we decided to question the hobgoblin. She wanted to kill it. We found out that she had hired them to more or less take us out.
Allegedly.
Yeah, well, allegedly. She's now hopped up on shrooms.
We had them tied up.
There's too many unknowns. We just don't know for sure.
And now we took them back to camp. The hobgoblin has been dispatched. Softleaf is...
That was a gentle way of putting that.
High as a cake. And,
we don't know how long that lasts.
Well, at the
death?
moment.
I do.
This makeshift hallucinogenic piece.
Yeah, well, she's tied up.
Yeah. And I think that pretty much sums up everything which happened. Some corpses were looted. Some clothes were found, and
ankles broken.
Weapons were added to inventories. But no money. No gold, no silver, no copper. We're a little sad there, but we have a hobgoblin over at base camp that we're going to ignore and move on to the Stone Village. Alrighty then. Back over to you, Jacob.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that.
Sun rises on a new day.
As the sun rises, that's basically what happens. You hear Caladrel start hooting and hollering as the effects of this hallucinogenic paste wear off. Can we get some of that hooting and hollering again, Reed? She is livid, to say the least. Not really livid. She's upset. She understands why you guys did what you did, but she's squawk. But she's eager to get untied because she's been up in the tree for all night.
hanging from the tree?
Isn't that what you guys? Did you
No,
guys
we just
leave her
tied
up
her-
there?
I thought
tied
she
her
was
with
tied to the
stuff.
trunk,
She's tied around
but
the trunk.
I dig it.
Not.
You know.
I imagine
She's
you
like
guys
a bear
tied her up
pack.
standing
We
up.
put her up there so the bears wouldn't get her.
No, I imagine you guys tied her standing up
Oh, so
around
she's
the
on,
trunk of
so
the
she's
tree.
on her ankle.
No,
She's on her ankle. That's how I imagined she spent all night on her
I
ankle.
thought that she was sitting on her
She's
butt.
sitting down. That's what I had too.
I think the rest of us saw this much more
She
rationally.
might have fallen asleep.
Like
No, I was like, but she's not as upset.
Remember,
the way that I,
tighter.
the way that I imagined the first thing you said was like we took her off a branch, tied her to the branch,
And
she's
she's
just like this. Like,
string her up.
Tied to a goblin that's
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, she is waking up next to a dead goblin that she didn't know died the night before.
hobgoblin,
Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
man-sized.
Man goblin.
Who has been stripped of his armor.
Yeah.
Okay, your move,
Oh,
gentlemen.
well, and then I approach Caladrel and let her know softly.
What's up, baby?
If you don't quiet down, I'm either gonna gag you or break your teeth.
she stopped screaming. I would appreciate it if you untied me and allowed me to get some water.
We'll bring the water to you, darling.
Are you gonna untie me or are you gonna kill me?
Gonna bring the water to you.
You're not getting untied anytime soon. And if you want to go against that, then you die.
That's fine, but it's awful uncomfortable to have been sitting here all night.
And enjoy being uncomfortable until we're ready to go. And
Okay.
shut up while we pack out.
You're gonna sit there till you're comfortable.
So, then we start taking care of our camp. You know.
Clean up.
Clean it up.
I imagine, so we all got a good night's rest. During that time, we took some time in the morning.
4 hours, for him to sleep a little bit longer too. And,
Yeah.
we all cleaned up.
Yeah, Rav has this BS class spell that we spent 10, 15 minutes talking about.
Well,
Goodberry.
let's say
So Goodberry's from before. I remember being you eat one, you get one hit point back. Apparently, Pathfinder did a little updating.
And it works well. Works
Yes,
well.
it does.
As we found, it seems to be pretty well
As long
on
as
the
you
camp.
got-
Yeah,
As long as you
it
got
does.
someone that can forage and someone that can turn that into a good berry.
Yeah.
Yes, well
Thank
done,
you, Durfee.
Paizo.
So,
Well done, Paizo, on a good mechanic. I approve. It's not overpowered. Initially, when you guys were explaining it, I was like, can't just like go grab a handful of berries and be like, good berries. Oh, 24 hours, throw those away, get some more good berries. But it's a good mechanic. They learned me up. Learned me good. So, you guys clean up camp.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Do you
we're going.
Untie her?
No. I mean, not in a way where she
She's
can
still
get
gonna be
away.
bound.
What?
Let's
15-foot rope.
no,
She can walk in front of us. No.
but she ain't gonna walk.
she's
She'll
not walking.
slow
She got
us
a
down
broken.
if
She
she
got a
walks.
broken leg.
Someone's gotta carry her.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking, what I'm thinking here is that we take a nice log, and do one of these where she's got her arms tied up behind her on the log.
Well, then somebody's gotta carry the log.
That's fine. We got two big guys.
Okay.
We got a small, strong one.
Don't forget about me.
Okay.
We can find a post, lash her to it.
And take her like stuck pig, and two of
That's
us can
true.
carry her
Two
back.
people on the shoulder.
Yeah.
What do we do with that cart?
And then we can swap because there are four of us.
What would we do with that cart to the albino?
The goblins might bang her head on the ground, but
Alright, well, I guess I will see about tying her to this log. Are we all in agreement? Is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah, that's fine. Let's scare her.
No, we just.
I thought we were just going to carry her.
No, but well, we just take a stick that two people can carry the weight. Then we can make time. You don't even have to worry about somebody having a burden.
Yeah.
Share the load.
It'll be a little
They
slanted
can't
because
really
it'll be you two. You know?
She'll be whack on the ground the whole way. So.
Yeah.
We might like that. That might-
So going
I did a 22 to lash her up to this thing.
You finally learned how to tie a knot.
Apparently, through the night, I took a few times, making sure.
Teach him how to tie a
Yeah.
sheep shank.
I'm going to roll to see if I help him. Hey, I
Hey!
did good this time. 19.
You guys are learning. Look at that.
12 hours later.
What's gonna work?
Good berries.
Teamwork.
We're going to lash her to a pole, and we're going to take her back to the Stone Village.
Okay, Stoneform Village.
All right.
Sounds
So-
like a great plan.
Yeah, we get our
Ding ding.
we get our marching music
Ding
on.
ding 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 ding.
So as you guys approach Stoneform Village, she
Oh, we know where
tries.
it's at.
What?
We know where it's at.
You know where
We
it's
know
at.
the direction.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she better tell us, or she's gonna get hit again.
That's true. Okay.
Squeeze that ankle every time.
She again tries to reason to say your best chance of getting into Stoneform Village is with my help.
You're gonna help us.
Whether you like it or not.
Last time we tried, she just said,
One more time in unison, boys. You're going to help us.
"You're going to help us." Oh, I'm sorry.
One of these. Take it from the top. Beginning of the fourth bar, please.
We all understood that one.
So, can I ask what your plan is?
When we get within eyeshot of their whatever they have for scout towers or something, we'll release her off of there and take her on foot the rest of the way.
Okay.
So that way they don't see her tied to
To a
the
log.
pole as we march up to the gate.
She says she is an outcast. So.
Oh, I know, but
Yeah, I get you. I get you. So, it's
And
all about
she
how
didn't
you
really-
present it.
She didn't really watch me kill the other hobgoblin, huh?
no. She was eyeballs full of paste.
Correct. Yes.
Threats against letting her know that she'll die to something would have to be a separate intimidation, huh?
Well, she
No, because-
she woke up next to the dead hobgoblin, so she knows it died.
Pretty intimidating.
But there's still the third hobgoblin we can still use.
That's a half a day away.
I know, but her clan, if they want to confirm that she was in coots with them, can go and question him then.
I don't know if we want to go that deep. But okay. Let's just.
If it comes to them,
It'll be on them.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right. So, anything historic happen on our ways?
Nothing super historic. Who's leading the company?
It'd probably be.
I think it'd be one of the two goblins, either Torvo or Mordax. And then
Yeah,
us in the
Rav
I got
us
a
in the
person
middle.
on my shoulders.
Yeah,
will be,
right. We can see him
bringing
calling
up
that way.
the lady.
What we do, we'll put it overcoat.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever you want.
The
I got
left.
You should poke out through the front.
Hold on. We got it. So we're gonna use one of these, one of the hobgoblin armors,
Yeah.
and we're gonna make it. I'm gonna put it on him,
Uh-huh.
and he's gonna sit on my shoulders, and it'll cover me.
Deception.
So he's gonna look like a tall goblin. Actually, I'm not gonna do that.
Where do we get to where we can at least see this?
Yeah. You're getting in view of the Stoneform Village gates.
Cool. So yeah, we take her down, untie her, and stand her up.
Yeah, she can walk the rest of the way.
Does it look as, from what we can gather, does it look as what's been presented to us?
By whose description?
Well, I mean, the only one that I have.
We have both of them. I mean, both of them are pretty much.
Her and Richard kind of give each of their own, and
So they're pretty close to the same.
I guess maybe I could just describe what you see based off perception checks.
Let's do that.
Roll some dice.
That seems logical.
I got a 14.
Okay, very good.
I see a village.
We got 17.
16.
27.
I'm not
27. He's going to tell us what he sees.
What do your human eyes see?
He's the one that's in the back carrying the log. Hey guys.
No, we're dragging her at this point. We're pulling her
We're like,
along.
hey, it's the village.
Everybody describes what they see, and then Rav's like, "No, that's not what you see at all." I'll tell you. Sit down. And let me tell you what you see.
That sounds about right.
So I imagine you're just kind of coming up on the trail. So cliff to your right, pretty steep mountain to your left. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Like mountain face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're looking at map number, I believe it's 3 now.
I'm not sure what map it is. The map that
Drawing
is of
number
the
one.
of
The map
Stoneform
of
Village.
Stone Village.
That's the one we're looking at. All right, so as you come up, you see the fortifications there on that'd be the west side of the village. As you look out to the right, or to the south, you can see off in the distance is the Wishad Sea, as per the world map. So you're somewhere along that shoreline. But again, you're probably, I don't know, 5 miles out from the sea, 5 or 10 miles.
About how far away are we from river?
Riverbend. If you were to have taken that trail, probably like 2 days, 2 or 3 days, I'd imagine.
So we're like another 6 days away from coastal.
Something like that. Yeah. Depending on how you want to look at it.
That's the crow flies.
I cast crow form on the party.
Yes,
Yeah, so
sense direction.
So you see, again, you see the fortifications, you see 2 towers, and on top of those towers you see guards standing watch. This is sometime early afternoon, I'd imagine is what time you guys get there, early to mid-afternoon.
Are these tall towers?
Can we tell what ancestry they are?
No. And also up on the hillside you see what my feeble attempt at drawing a trap, it looks like a mine shaft or a mine entrance. It's not. That's one of those
Stones.
yeah, these stone things where you knock out the supporting posts
Falls down.
and a bunch of stones.
So we
Is
were
that what
able to
those are
see
called?
that.
Yeah.
A medieval rock.
Yeah, and you can tell that it's not like it wasn't meant to be hidden. You know, it was
Fantastic.
A
like
deterrent more than anything.
yeah, this is if you try and attack, then this is what's happening.
Fair enough. That works good.
So
Are we looking at this as like foreshadowing?
if you want to, we can.
Break the dam.
And then you also see next to it another guard tower, which you'd imagine would be for those on duty watching that and, you know, triggering it if necessary.
So for sure, by the time we're starting to walk up on this, they've seen us.
Yeah. Yeah, they've done a very good job protecting their front door.
Oh, so they see our approach?
I'd imagine if you guys, because you guys said you were coming up on the trail, right?
I guess so.
That's
So me just bolting off into the woods now would be a little dicey, huh?
yeah, it'd look a little sketchy. Yeah.
Oh well, I guess that's where we are now.
Let me put it this way. I understood when you guys got within eyesight of Stoneform Village is when you stopped, untied her, pushed this poor woman on her feet and broke an ankle,
Absolutely.
and started walking. So by the time you could see them,
Poor
they
woman.
could see you.
Okay. Perfect. Cool. I'll give her my head to lean on.
Strength check.
Let's make her look like she's being supported. I give her a warning too. If anything fishy happens, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna kill you first. Right off the cliff.
And I give you one more warning. Let me help you get into the village.
You're gonna help.
At this point, you know what? We don't really care if you let us. If they let us into the village, we're just going to return you to them. And if that's it, we're going to leave.
You tell her that?
Yeah, that's Rav speaking right into her face because he's had enough of her.
Slap her around a little bit.
No.
Not slap around.
Just telling her
In full view of the guards.
verbally,
You know
verbally
what?
slap around.
Just enough. So,
Okay.
Yeah, let this be.
Okay. All right. Talk to me about your approach.
Apparently.
Slowly.
Yeah, we're just gonna go to the front doors, huh?
Okay. You guys get probably 30, 40 feet away. One of the guards on top shouts down, "Halt! Who goes there?"
I look to her.
She looks back and motions to the door to be like,
I kick her ankle.
she drops down in pain. And you see the guards call down to somebody down on the ground floor.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
You see probably about a dozen guards come out the front gate, and they're approaching.
Or running at us, or just kind of
Approaching.
I yell at them that we have this young elf, Softleaf, who has allied herself with hobgoblins. We've come to bring her back to you. She says that she is an outcast, but she has done evil. And we think it should be up to you to punish her appropriately. We have no more need for her. We no longer wish to be in her presence. And at that, we toss the rope.
It lands on the ground, and the guard in the front. We know Softleaf, and she'll be dealt with accordingly. Then he goes and picks up Caladrel off the ground and carries her back inside. Now,
How does he carry her?
Picks her up and carries her like this.
He's motioning kind of like how you would front, holding like a mirror, the way you would carry somebody
Over the threshold.
Over the threshold.
I didn't use the word romantic.
No, he didn't toss her over the shoulder. He held her in front, both
Perception
arms.
check to see how they kind of a little bit more about their demeanor towards her.
Okay.
All right, rolling pretty good here with an 8.
Getting on that one. Nope, no better.
All right.
We're all rolling. All right.
I got 14.
Got a 9.
Boy.
19.
All right.
19, here we go.
Where would you guys be without Rav today? So you notice it when they pick her up, it definitely wasn't harsh or rough in any sort of way.
It was definitely tender.
I wouldn't say tender, because
Not uncaring.
not uncaring.
Yeah, no, but like gingerly, they weren't rough. They were
correct.
Yeah, not as in a loving manner, but
Kind of almost like how you'd pick up a like if you came across a hurt puppy.
fair enough.
You know.
Yep.
I mean, we don't need to talk about what.
I'm gonna yell at
But yeah, so almost like if you came across that, you'd pick that up and very as to not hinder any sort of wounds that may or may not have been recently given.
She did it herself.
She broke her ankle on her own. That was none of our doings.
Oh. No, I broke her ankle.
It was already broken.
She did break it.
You just kicked it again.
Yeah, after it was already broken.
Too late, I said
You
that.
just kicked it in front of the guy.
I did.
So why would you tell her? Yo, we're creating a bad scene.
No, we
gotta get our story straight.
No, we did not break it.
Huddle.
Alright, so what are they doing?
They kind of look at you suspiciously,
Uh-huh.
and you hear as the one guard is carrying Caladrel off, she goes, "Yep, they're right. I did this myself." And they carry her in, and so she's now gone in through the barricade and into the village. And the other one's the one who spoke before. So, what can we do for you, four gentlemen?
Well, we don't mean any harm to your village. We were just pointed this direction in hopes of uncovering a few things that we have of a personal matter that we think you can assist us in.
I'd be more than happy to help in assisting. How can I help?
We were led to believe that you have some form of ritual that turns people to stone.
Now I'm going to stop you right there. Rumors can be a powerful thing, especially told by the wrong types of individuals. I hope you're not coming here to
Caladrel
judge.
is the one that told
Excuse
us.
me, sir. Excuse me. I hope you're not coming here to condemn or judge.
Ignorance
my
can be
village.
dangerous.
We're seeking
and
your help.
none of us want to be ignorant in this matter, and so we do not mean to offend. If you find us that we are being offensive, I promise you it's not coming from a place of such. We only seek knowledge, and all we would like to know is how this ritual is presented, because we are seeming to find a symbol of your people in sites that I don't feel you would feel is respectful.
Roll a diplomacy check.
Shush. Good luck.
I believe.
You're doing it, Peter.
17?
Hey.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah, good answer. Good answer.
Not good enough.
I appreciate your kind and thoughtful words, Goblin, but unfortunately I did witness with my own eyes the harshness of which one of my kinsmen was treated not minutes ago.
I would agree with you that was harsh.
That's the actions of an angry man, and I am so sorry.
She has brought much ire upon us and threatened our lives. And we did not kill her nor take her life. We sought to bring her back to justice. Whatever you choose that is, we're not judging.
And for that I'm grateful. Caladrel is, how can I say it, a interesting part of the community.
May we ask one thing and possibly be on our way then?
Yes, please.
Is there any way that we see the symbol of their that's supposedly carved into their mountainside and stuff?
Is it visible?
Or would we have to draw it ourselves?
Yeah, you can see it. The one above the cave?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's a symbol of your people, as I point to that?
Yes, well, we all bear the mark, and you do see the symbols on the flags on top of the towers as well.
Okay. And I just find it concerning because in places that you might supposedly think of crime occurring, this symbol has been etched into the ground in a concerning manner. And this is the only place that we know of it.
I appreciate your words, but I can assure you, the only... Well, that's not really my place to talk about such ritualistic things. Perhaps you and your comrades would like to stay for a little bit and discuss matters with someone of a higher rank than me.
That'd be much appreciated.
I'll go up.
Do you mind if we take a second to confer together?
I understand the circumstances, and I would be shocked if you didn't want to discuss it with your comrades.
Once again.
Huddle up!
Caladrel pokes her head up over the embankment. Smiles.
Here's the funny thing: is that you have to have Rav and Durfee have to take a knee
Every time.
You're right.
Or I could pick you up.
Yeah.
On my shoulders and just.
But then only one of us.
I don't know, guys. I kind of feel like we should go in. I don't feel threatened at all.
I'm with you. I think we'll be okay. I mean, I haven't said anything. I've been quiet for a while, but it's remarkable.
He seems to be showing remarkable mercy to me, who kicked one of his kin in the ankle. That was.
Yeah, that was pretty wild, man. I mean, I can be brutal, but dang, dude.
You hear the guard. I assure you, your safety is of our concern as well, and you will not be harmed.
It's more information.
What do we take to that word?
Remember, Richard.
Who?
We do need to learn, so I think we should take him up on his offer.
I guess worse off, we jump off the cliff.
I survived.
So I should have described the cliff a little bit more. The cliff's probably 60 or 70 feet tall.
Oh, that's not a problem. I got that.
And no
I
problem.
can do that.
I was thinking 200.
One of my feet, so I can.
And at the bottom of it is that river that you guys were following from before.
Sharp pointy rocks.
Most likely. No, it's not the deepest of river.
Okay.
Okay.
Especially jumping from.
What does it look like the other way? Up the cliff side.
From the village, like the inside of the village, another pretty intense cliff. That one's probably, I don't know, anywhere between 3 feet, like you said on the ends.
Yeah.
To the tallest point would probably be, I don't know, 20, 30 feet.
Okay.
Probably closer to 30 feet.
A little bit of a long climb, you'd say. If we could even get grappling hooks up there. Okay.
I think we do it. I think we go in.
And Yeah.
And it should also be noted the way the wall looks, that sheer wall. If you see on the right hand side of that little stream, the right hand side stream, there's that little pile right there. That's from a rock slide type thing. And so you look at it and it looks not unstable but climbable. So it's not like you're climbing a glass wall.
Gotcha.
You know, you can see if your intent was to climb it, you could.
Okay.
I mean, with
Can
the
we see that?
appropriate
Can we
detailing.
see? Can we generally see most of the village?
No, you can't. You can probably see to that first bridge.
Okay. That's what I'm.
Oh yeah, you can probably see that. You can probably make that out.
Is that? Does it seem to be a lift?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
want answers.
You can tell that it is a lift.
I say we go in.
Let's do it.
All in favor say aye.
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 All I say is at this, let's not separate. Whatever. They say.
The eyes are about to not separate.
Stay together.
Stay together. All right.
So it's agreed we stay, but maybe or may not split the party.
All right.
No, what if I have to go and use the bathroom?
And you better poop next to us.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready break?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Damn. Great. Oh, wait.
We appreciate your hospitality and guarantee of safety. We'd be more than happy to come in and have a discussion.
Yes, of course. Please come in, and I'll show you to a place that you can call your chambers for the duration of your stay.
Oh, man. None of us sense motive on him. Like, oh my
It's
God.
not too late.
Yeah.
As you're following him into the cube.
Yeah, let's do
Wow,
it.
not one.
Sensing motive.
Yeah, I got 16.
20.
Alright.
The 20.
Aha!
Huzzah! Well, based on the backside, as you're walking behind him, following him, he seems decent enough of a fellow.
Backside.
No,
Do any of the other guards have like curling smiles on their faces? Like, too far
Like
off?
Mr. Grinch?
You're too far away. You're too far away from me, Mike.
Do any of the other guards have any curling smiles on their faces or sneers or anything as we pass?
their shoes are too small, though.
Their shoes are too small to like.
Fill in the details.
It's like the Grinch
Yeah.
on that one.
No, they seem like your typical foot soldiers.
Okay, fair enough. Onward.
Not super militaristic
Onward and
in
twirling.
detail, or in,
Only you.
the way that they form up and stuff. Almost to the level. Do you remember how Caladrel was talking about everybody takes a turn?
Mm-hmm.
So almost that level where they're not. It's not as organized of a militia as a paid militia would be. But yeah, there's not any like suckers. They're not. You don't see any of that.
Okay.
You don't see.
Good.
any
That's
of that.
that's what I was asking. Okay.
I know what trained living warriors look like,
These
monastery.
aren't them.
Excellent.
Do you have a lore for that?
I have lore warfare.
Why don't you roll a lore warfare check?
Alright, that'll be 19.
I remember.
That's how I know you guys. No, you based on your training and the formations that you've studied and backgrounds of different militaries throughout history, you can tell that though one-on-one, these soldiers wouldn't prove that much of a threat. If you get enough of them together, then there's obviously a lot more potential for it to be dangerous.
Obviously, they haven't met a goblin.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Boom.
Alright, so what are we doing?
All right, so he takes you in and sets you up. You see 1, 2, 3, the fourth shed in, or the fourth hut on the north side of the trail, right there between the two trees.
Yep.
He takes you in there and asks you to please wait a moment. Inside the hut, it's pretty comfortable. There's 2 sets of bunk beds.
She's on the top bunk.
Throw your stuff up there. Step on Torvo to get out there. Let's go on dibs. There's a bowl of fresh fruit in there as well. So I don't want to say luxurious accommodations, but it's nice and you feel quite comfortable there.
Okay.
A chest of drawers if you want to unpack your stuff, maybe. So there's a basin with water in it. If you want to wash up a little bit, things like that. So and he leaves and exits the door.
Alright. Did he close it?
Yeah, he closes the flap.
Yeah, it's a little hot, so close the flap.
Yeah.
Flap, 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 flap.
Man. What was that?
What do you think he's having us wait for?
Remember,
I'm uncomfortable that they closed the flap. I'm uncomfortable that he closed the flap on us.
Yeah, smell smoke.
didn't
It
he
starts
say-
burning.
Didn't he say that he was going that we wanted to talk to somebody? I mean, he was someone that couldn't answer our questions for that.
Do you think he'll get the chief for us?
Who knows at this point? Only time will tell.
I moved to one of the edges or on my bunk or whatever's there and
How do I?
I meditate. Waiting for this to pass.
Anybody else do anything? Try and take a little gentleman's peek outside.
Are there any windows?
Close the flap. It doesn't flap. I'd hate to offend. Wait. I mean, at this point, we're at there.
Yeah.
We decided to put ourselves in there.
I pull out my deck of cards and just start playing the game by myself. You know,
Hopefully they
Unless
don't
somebody
take
wants
face
to.
cards.
They're not face cards.
Oh, good.
They're death cards.
The Toro.
Tarot cards.
I
Flip one over. It says death. And I'm like, I just don't know if it's us or them.
Literal face cards.
It's a magic deck. It shows people's faces.
Deck of many things.
And then if anybody else wants to join in, they can.
Okay, so you guys kind of wait, and you're waiting for what seems 45 minutes, an hour-ish.
Part of the wait and see tribe.
If any of you try and kind of sit next to the door and maybe try and open it up just to skosh, you hear a guard standing outside, and then the gentleman comes back in, the one that escorted you there in the first place, and he says, "If you'll please come with me, I'll take you to our chieftain. I've taken your case to him, and he's interested to hear what you have to say."
Why did he say case?
Yeah.
As you're leaving, as you're walking out,
Rule law.
you're just the last. You're the last person to walk out. That's what you hear. Why did he say case?
Durfee McFadden, are you worried at all about what's going to happen?
The only thing that worries me here is that he said case. That makes me feel like we're on trial.
In which case, my War of Eagle could come in. Because I know so much about their
justice system.
Yeah, I mean, their justice system might be different than, say, the justice system that you guys so well observed in Riverbend. Maybe not. Ravel, you worried at all?
I'm not so much worried about talking to the chief as opposed to them actually wanting to kill me. So we'll see how this goes.
All right. Sounds good. So he escorts you through town and leads you to the cave entrance.
And as he crosses the threshold of the cave and walks up to it, you see him give kind of a half bow with his arms type salute almost to the cave entrance and walks in. And as he does, he kind of looks over his shoulder to see if you guys do anything.
I follow suit. As I say, I'm just narrating myself, third person. Well, I follow.
Okay.
I ask openly. I don't mean to offend. Would it be fine with you if I followed suit?
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. I forget that. Living in the village so long, I'm getting used to people just walking in and knowing our customs, and we're not used to outsiders. We don't get very many of them here very often. But it's a custom of ours as a show of respect to our deity to humbly bow yourself. Now, in the old days, our ancestors would fully prostrate themselves on the ground, but we've kind of fallen out of tradition, and it's probably not a good thing, but that's kind of what it is. And so, if you'd like to, it'd be a show of respect and reverence towards the green dragons.
Alright, I understand the power of dragons. And I do bow.
I curtsy. I bow.
And you fall asleep?
I follow suit. Rav leans forward and bows.
Third person again.
Spirit fingers.
Third person again.
All right. So you walk in and I'm trying to think if I want to erase this or not.
You worked so hard on it.
I know I did. So you walk in and see this first room right here. So this is where you walked in from, and this is the giant room that you find yourself in. Now, that being said, I should get some dimensions. It's the giant room.
Here we are getting ourselves some pictures. This is exciting.
Yeah, if you look, no, don't look at the paper.
Okay.
This is like
You
the
can
full,
hear
the
Jacob.
full blueprint.
I don't know if you can hear Jacob there, but he says, "Don't look at the paper."
All right, so the opening, that initial hallway that you walk down, is 10 feet wide, and it goes back about 50 feet, and then that big room is about 50 feet by 60 feet. And those black squares just are pillars. It's a well lit room with sconces on the walls and pillars to light it with natural firelight. Natural firelight.
It's natural.
And it's the stone, you can tell, has been worn over the years, especially in that main thoroughfare right up the middle. But you can tell that this room probably gets a lot of use. And as the corner turns right here, then it gets a little bit more rough, and so not as many people use that, but you can still see that the whole cavern has been very lovingly carved out. As you can see on Exhibit 1, so your guide, who seems to be hold more rank than others. It says, excuse me, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Vareller. Vareller. Yeah,
Like Vareller.
Vareller. Varelor. And he doesn't say it like 6 times. He says it just the once. Because he's not an idiot and he knows how to pronounce his name.
The rest were just echoes off of the big room.
Vareller.
Oh, that's how you say it.
My name is Vareller. I hold a permanent position as one of the militia captains.
It's my privilege to welcome you to Stoneform Village. Now, I worry about the things that you've heard about the village, but is there any other questions? I know we spoke briefly at the gate. Is there any other questions I can potentially clear up for you? Chieftain Lamral will be with us shortly, but in the meantime, is there anything I can answer?
Varela, if I can ask you a question. Have you heard of anyone of your village traveling outside to turn people to stone and leave the marking like what you guys have on the outside of the cave?
No, I hesitate to answer on that. We do have people that go rogue from the village from time to time, and again, I'm not sure what you've heard from Caladrel or other sources. Those that go rogue potentially have, they don't necessarily come back, and if they do, they're outcasts, and we don't allow them back into the village. We hold our village as a very close-knit, tight family. And family in this village is something that shouldn't be taken lightly. So although we might live in different homes, we're all one big family, and one doesn't simply betray their family in this village. So if someone were to leave the village, to answer your question, that's on their accord. But as far as somebody from our village turning people to stone, well, there's only one person that I know of that can do that. And that's whomever the chieftain is, which in this case is Chieftain Lamral.
Lambo?
Lamral.
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 Caladrel seemed to put emphasis on sacrifices for the village, and she even seemed excited in a way, in a wonderment of if we would be sacrifices here.
Caladrel is she's ambitious, and she's trying hard to make her way in the world and find her place with the village. Again, I don't know all that she told you about our ways, but and as he starts to kind of find his words, then you see in that back corner somebody, an older elf, regally dressed, enter, and you assume him to be Chieftain Lamwell Greenrock. And he says, "Varela, that's enough. We don't want to bore our visitors with lore and sacrifices. I mean, the sacrifice is a sacrifice after all, and there's nothing spectacular about that." I've been having some interesting discussions with Caladrel, but I'd like to hear your side of this story, if you don't mind.
What would you like to know?
Tell me how you first came upon Caladrel.
She actually came upon us.
Interesting. How so?
We were stalking some hobgoblins, and as we were about to see their intentions, she stopped us.
Hobgoblins.
If you'd like to find more verification on that, we've left the bodies of two who tried to attack us in the night with her help, and there seems to be a third down the path road that I think we would be able to point out to you on a rough map.
I'd like very much, and he produces a map of Elibrar.
And as best as I can, with the help of my peers help me.
He shows the spot to Varela, and Varela motions to two guards that are standing in there, and they leave the cavern. Not a tavern.
That's a
Scrump! Give me a beer!
Of course.
Lamrel goes behind a bar. In the meantime, what can I get for you boys?
These are the dwarviest elves I've ever met.
Pulls out a rag and starts cleaning up. From what I hear,
Rabon Smite, is that you?
you don't happen to know Rabon, do you?
Oh, Rabon.
Ragbon Smith.
Ragbon Smith, the old Yeah, he's somebody I haven't heard from in a long time.
Off the rails.
Off the rails. Off the rails. No, tell me more about your travels with her. Did she, and forgive my forthcoming, did she ask if any of you guys had magic?
Yes.
And what did you say in return to that?
She told us that in order to gain entry, we would need somebody who uses magic. But we felt that she was being deceptive in some way, and so, unfortunately, in turn, we were deceptive to her.
I understand completely, and although I don't like deception, I understand the position that you were put in, and it's not my place to forgive, but I understand.
I appreciate that, and I hope you understand our candor, that I'm more than willing to be forthcoming with you.
And thank you. So, in the spirit of forthcomingness, is that a word?
Yeah, he's...
It is now.
He's an elder. Yeah, it's a word now.
It's a word now. In the interest of being forthcoming, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about our sacrifices here. And he kind of motions to the entire cavern. He says, "This is a mass gathering place for grand councils and high councils alike." Meetings of the minds to determine what's best for our village and for our tribe. These are hard times with the new pantheon of gods coming and approaching and filling this world with so much confusion. You can understand, being a tribe of Tarragons, how difficult of a position it can be to lead such a tribe in an ever-shrinking world. So we meet in here to discuss things, and although policy changes from time to time, one thing remains the same. A willing sacrifice is a much better sacrifice than an unwilling sacrifice, and this is and he kind of walks down one of the halls. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
25.
Woo!
That's as good as I can get. 18.
18.
23.
13.
So everybody but Durfee, as he turns, he turns a little bit too fast, and his robes kind of open just a little bit, and you see tucked inside of one of his robes on a lanyard a brilliant blue sapphire, about the size of my fist, if I'm not mistaken. So about the half size of my fist. Big old sapphire. So, and it also emits a slight glow. Okay. So he leads down the hall, and as you go down the hall, you see to your left a long hallway, and he says, we'll get to that in just a minute, but let me walk you down. And he walks you down to the end of this hall, and turns right, and you go into this chamber with 6 small rooms. And he says, "Now these small rooms in here are rooms meant for willing sacrifices, people who are intending to give themselves up as a sacrifice for our common goal. And no amount of magic is too small for us." And for our dragon. Any amount of magic that we can get to send along is going to be helpful in any way. But as you can see, these are, although they're not luxurious living quarters, they're small, quite plain, and you'd look at them as like a almost like a monk's type living quarters, like a step above what a monk would typically see. So stone floors, a straw mattress, and small blanket. And he says, as people come to willingly sacrifice themselves, we want themselves to fully focus on that sacrifice and fully focus on what what their life has come to and what it's led to. And so this is where people are free to come and go from these rooms as you'd like. And you see that there's two elves in there from the clan, and they're dressed in simple robes. Now, and he kind of goes back out the hall, and you see that room just above. He takes you to that room, and there's robes in that room similar to the ones that you saw from before. And he says, you know, this is not very many people get to see this room. Those that are close to the ultimate sacrifice come into this room prior to cleansing themselves one last time. And he motions down that little side hallway, which is about 5 feet wide. And there's a drape that's kind of covering that, and you hear running water on the other side of that. And he says, people go in there, and there's a natural spring in there that people cleanse themselves. Now, I don't know if you saw outside, we had 2 streams. The one on the right side of the entrance to the cavern is where this water leads to. And we don't use that water because it's somewhat sacred, because it represents the ultimate sacrifice of a willing sacrifice. And only those that are willing to sacrifice themselves are allowed to bathe in that water or touch it. And so once it merges with the other stream, then it becomes regular water, and at that point it flows over the mountain into the river and then out to the sea, where ultimately it merges with the rest of the water, similar to how their magical essence will become one with the dragon at some point in the future. All representative, all symbolic. But they come out here and then go back to their quarters and await their final judgment, which takes place just down the hall. And as you're leaving the hall, then you see the curtain, the drape, start to open up a little bit. And when you guys look back to see who's coming out, you see that it's Caladrel, dressed in those humble robes. And we'll pick up there next week. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun. 5.
D5.
Okay. Have a good week. We'll see y'all next week. What was your sign off?
Oh, this has been a D5 production.
Meow.
D5.
D5.